So you're a writer, but like, how much do you even write? So we're going to find out. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm MK Williams. I'm an author and I love sharing my insights about all things books and publishing with you. Before I get into the details of today's topic, don't forget to hit subscribe. You'll be notified when I put out new videos every week about publishing, making a career being an author, and now being a mompreneur. As 2024 started, I knew I would have diminishing time to write. All the signs were there that nap time was about to go away for my daughter. She now does quiet time, but it is much more interrupted than in the past. And because of this, I really narrowed my focus to just writing fiction, promoting fiction, and keeping this channel going. In the past, I could do a quick temperature check on my business with how many consults I had booked, how much money was coming in. But with books done and not ready to publish, I needed to measure. I really felt that I needed a way to measure my output and have some kind of a control to see how I was doing, if I was getting enough time to write. It's mainly because I'm type A like that, right? Like I could have just said like, okay, well, like I'm just waiting on things. But I think for me, having goals, having something that I'm tracking keeps me more on task than if I'm not. Now I don't use fancy drafting software. I'm a Microsoft girl, Microsoft Word girl, like through and through. So I use a good old fashioned pen and paper to track my word count. So when I start writing, I look at the word count tracker at the bottom of the document, write that down. When I finish and I hit save, I go ahead and I write down the ending amount. This was great for drafting, not great for editing because sometimes you're adding a sentence, you're removing a sentence, and it would look like I lost 2 words total. So that wasn't great, but I just made the system that worked for me. And so here is how much I did each month. Now, January, I was on a hot streak with over 16,000 words. February, 26,000 words. Boom. March, I started to revise the book that I effectively finished writing in January and February. I had started working on the manuscript in 2023. Beginning of 2024, I finished it. So March, I'm revising. And again, it's hard for me to track like added word count when I'm revising. March hit with a huge existential crisis. So I didn't get anything done except for crying and feeling sorry for myself. But then in May, I was back with a new book. So I did 25,000 words in May, 4,000 in June, 25,000 in July, 40,000 in August. So by this point, I had drafted a full new book, edited, revised it, done some outlining as well. In September, I just did 1,800 words. October, I only did 2,200 words, but there were 2 hurricanes. So I do feel like I get some bonus points for those words because they were stress words. And then in November, I did 7,600 words and over 3,000 in December. So I think it was a very productive year. You could definitely tell the months when I was drafting a new book, like I had the outline, I was going to town with it, versus the months when I was maybe working on short stories, having a breakdown, or just outlining. Like outlines should have less words than full books. So my final word count for the year was 154,416 words. I'm really excited to keep this momentum and this monitoring going into 2025. My goal for 2025 is to write 200,000 words. We'll see if that happens. Maybe, maybe not. But I think it's good for me to kind of shoot for something and have a goal. Now, obviously, as the year goes on, things may change, opportunities may come up, and I'll adjust. But I like knowing I have something to look forward to. I definitely like data. I'm a data person. I'm actually surprised it took me almost a decade to start tracking all of this in earnest. I think I would see the end word count for a book and assume that's all I wrote that year, but really there is so much more that goes into it. Like I'll have whole chapters that just get cut or need to be reworked or rewritten. And so I don't want to not count those. I also haven't been counting the word count for the scripts that I make for this channel. So I do think I need to add to that because these take a while to script. Now, as my goals for 2025 are going to include short stories as well as novels, I think that'll definitely help me with that word count goal. I do know that I do want a better way to see what I'm producing. Not every word is gold, but it does build and build. So if you guys have any tips on how to track word count better, I would totally be open to hearing those from you. Now, doing this word count tracking actually helped me realized that I could write a lot more in an hour than I thought I could. I always thought I was at best like 1,000 words an hour. But with this method, when I really focused down, having limited time, I knew I could actually get 2,000 words in an hour. And that was really empowering to me to see, okay, like when I am focused, when I have no distractions, I can get it done. I can get the words on the page if I only get an hour of quiet time or 45 minutes when I'm at gymnastics practice or something. So, do you guys track your word count? Do you have a better method? What tools do you use? Do you want to challenge and encourage each other with your word count goals in 2025? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, informative, or inspiring, feel free to go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, or maybe hit that shiny new thanks button. That tells YouTube you found this information helpful, and they can put it in front of other authors like us. Now you can get back to writing your book.